months ago when he said that he thinks someday Gaza could be redeveloped as the Riviera of the Middle East. Martha.
Well, there's an element here that could eventually lead to that in these 21 points, Peter. And Peter, just keeping with you for a moment here, basically they said, if Hamas doesn't accept the 21-point plan, then Israel has the United States full backing to essentially go in and clear it out, which is where this was headed before this deal, right?
Yes, and again, something that we didn't have a chance to ask Prime Minister Netanyahu about, but what more U.S. military support do they think they could use to end the war in Gaza? Because for almost 2 years of this war, they had basically had the full support of the U.S. military and intelligence community for essentially the entire time without very many interruptions. But the war continues, and there are still Hamas fighters inside. So we don't know what that looks like, but it's a safe bet that the full force of the U.S. military with this President Donald Trump would not include sending U.S. troops in, because this is somebody, Donald Trump, who takes a lot of pride in ending 7 conflicts around the world. As he was heading to the Ryder Cup on Friday afternoon, he was talking about how he really thinks that this one is going to be number 8. That is a huge part of what he sees his legacy as. Ending global conflicts that started before he came into office. And so it would be unlikely that U.S. troops would be sent to Gaza to try to clean up the mess there. But there's always more equipment, and there's always more help either from the air or in terms of more advanced weaponry as it gets developed that could be sent. Martha?
All right, Peter, thank you very much. Peter Ducey in the room as we just heard this historic announcement from President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu. Peter, thank you very much. With that, we bring in President Trump's special envoy for hostage response, Adam Bowler. Adam, thank you for being here. I guess your sort of overall reaction to the outlines of this 20-point deal as we wait to see if Hamas agrees to this proposition.
Martha, I want Khalid Mashal, because he's listening right now, the leader of Hamas. I want him to listen and hear that he was just offered something by 2 world leaders, 2 of the greatest world leaders, and we're all not just one nation under God, but we're one world under God. And Khalid has an opportunity to be great himself. And I believe that he will take the President of the United States. He's the only person in the world that could offer this. That he will take it and he will accept it. And to Peter's question, there is no negotiation. That's it. Everyone wins here.
Hello, YouTube. It's September 29th. It's a Monday. And I just got done watching President Trump and Netanyahu's speech about ending the war in Gaza. And I'm pretty disgusted. I don't understand why the United States and so many world leaders have made Muslim countries as the aggressor when it comes to war. The blame shifting is very, very obvious every time a group of people that have had been colonized and faced genocide and had their homes taken from them, when they react, suddenly it's wrong to have a reaction. I have seen so much destruction in Palestine just from videos and satellite images that it's very real. You can't just watch an entire group of people suffer so immensely from people around them and even within. And you can't just keep pointing a finger and not have three pointing back. The US military is the largest complex in the entire world, and it has backed Israel in this war. There's not a lot of hope for people in Palestine from the United States perspective because of US propaganda. And we're silenced ourselves. Anyone who speaks up against the clear sighting and someone should really speak up about why this is happening. After 9/11, Muslims have been a target by the entire world. And I'm saying this from I'm Christian, I'm Sikh, I'm Buddhist, I'm a lot of things. And I'm learning about religion. There is one God. And religion is just a culture of worshiping and appreciating one God. And you can't force something onto somebody. And you can't say one is greater than the other. And you can't say something like, if a group does not agree, we're gonna finish the job. That was disgusting. What do you mean you're gonna finish the job? What homes are left for you to destroy? An entire people. You're trying to erase an entire people. When you say free Palestine, it's much more than just that. It's free Muslims from oppression. It's free people who have had to resort to violence just to protect themselves. It's knowing that colonization is evil, and you can't just say God made us do these things. God rewarded us with this land. That's That's not how this works. There's rules even to fighting and war. And you can't say that one side is using violence just because this is much bigger than anything that I could understand as an individual, but something really big is happening. And there's talks about a government shutdown within the United States, and it's scary. You can't just keep telling people to just pray. They have been praying. Palestinians have been praying. And they have lost their families and their homes. There's Christians, there's Jewish, there's Muslim Palestinians. It was the homeland of Jesus Christ. And it still is. So please stop erasing history. Whitewashing Christ was one thing, but now erasing his homeland is another. And I don't know how long this silence is gonna last. Somebody needs to speak up. Somebody has to see it for what it is. And now more than ever, we need to cling on to hope. Please pray for Palestine and Israel. I don't know how to solve this conflict, but it needs to be resolved. And I just hope this does not bring more hate towards Muslims and Muslim nations who have been fighting for centuries to keep their homes. Amen.